Alright, so welcome back to the channel, y'all. As you can see, we're going to do something a little different today. In this video, I'm going to try to leave the natural sounds in and talk over it. I might need to turn them down a little bit, but I want y'all to hear the natural environment as I talk to y'all. And today, I want to share with y'all the cost of living here in China, as well as how living abroad actually gave me the ability to retire at an early age. I'm only 42 right now, and I can actually retire. I could probably just do nothing for the next 30, 40 years or however long as I stay in Asia. And I want to share that with y'all today, how I'm able to do that, as well as how much it actually costs me to live here. So sit back, enjoy the scenery, and let's talk about it. So I just finished lunch. I'm gonna go for a little walk, sit down here, show y'all some of the sights, and I want to talk to you today about how much money I spent last month while living here in China. This little area here is very close to my house, so as you can see, it's nice and quiet, kind of peaceful. So anyway, I'm gonna have a little walk around this whole reservoir here, and I'll talk to y'all about how much money I spent this month here in China. So if you're interested in that, I want to know how much it costs to live here. I'll try to fill you in on as many details as I can. So, sit back and enjoy the scenery, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk to y'all about how much it actually cost me to live here in China. I actually track everything very meticulously, not because I'm on a strict budget, but I just track it because I like to know where my money is going. So I keep track of everything I spend, and I'm going to tell you how much I spent for the month of August of 2024. This is obviously September now, so I'm tracking a new month now, and it's going to be a little bit different. But basically, for the past 15 years, my expenses have been pretty much very similar to what they are now. So I'm ready to share that with you here today. And then later, stay tuned till the end, and I will tell you more about how living here in China has given me the opportunity to be able to retire right now. But anyway, let's dive right into these expenses first. Now, right now, I am living in Luoyang, China. It's in Henan province, which is pretty much central China, but it is kind of above the north-south line. According to Chinese people, they say this is actually northern China, but it's more central. But anyway, I've been here for a month, and I have several expenses here tracked, and I'm going to break them all down for you, starting with the most expensive expense all the way down to the least expensive. So when it comes to my most expensive expense, or the most amount of money I spent, it was actually on eating out, because I just moved here to this city, and when I moved here, I got rid of everything I had, all of my kitchen appliances, everything. So I didn't cook as much as I usually do. I was actually eating out breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, snacks, all that stuff, eating out every single day. So for the month of August, I spent 2,100 renminbi eating outside, which is about 295 US dollars. So I spent pretty much $300 a month eating out. Now usually I don't spend that much eating out because I usually cook at home. But this month was different because I didn't have any supplies for cooking, no pots and pans, no microwave, no nothing. And so I ate out a lot more than usual. So typically that expense would be a little bit less. Now, my second highest expense was, was my rent. So I rent a small apartment here, and you can actually check out my apartment here. I've made a video about it. I'll try to put a link at the top here, and you can watch it if you want to see what my apartment looks like. But it's nothing fancy, it's just a normal small apartment big enough for one person. I forget the size. It's like 50 or 60 square meters, something like that. But it's just one bedroom, one living room, one bathroom, one kitchen. It's like all separate rooms. It's not a studio or nothing. But for my rent, I spend 1,600 renminbi, which is about $225. and it's in a brand new, a brand new community, and it's a brand new apartment. Nobody has ever lived here before, so it's not a bad place at all. It's a little bit small, and it's not as nice as my previous place, but it is a little bit cheaper than my previous place. And actually, if I wanted to, I could stay in a much cheaper place. But this place is nice, it's new, it's very convenient. And so for that, I spend $225 per month. And don't forget, at the end, I'll also put on the screen the entire breakdown of how much everything costs in total. But anyway, my next biggest expense was spent on groceries. Now, when I say groceries, it's not just food, but also other household items like toothpaste and soap and shampoo, all the things that you need for, a normal household. You need toilet paper and, soap to wash your clothes and all this stuff. So all of those things, I spent 1,000 renminbi, which is about $140. Now, typically, this expense would actually cost me more, and eating out would cost me less. I would usually spend more like $300 a month on groceries and maybe $150 eating out. But this month it was kind of opposite because I didn't have anything to cook with or nothing like that. But in that grocery expense, that includes some new pots and pans and stuff like that I need to start cooking again. And so next month, these are going to be, flipped upside down probably in terms of how much I spent. So groceries, $140 a month. Let's see, now my next biggest expense, which is also I spent more than what I normally do, was entertainment. Now, the reason why I spent more on entertainment this month is simply because I just moved here. This is a brand new city, and I wanted to get out and do some networking and meet some new people, try to make some friends and that kind of thing. And so that required me to go out more often than usual. And also, I don't really know any of the places around the city because I just moved here a month ago. So I was trying to go out more often, trying to learn the places, like which places I actually like and things like that. So I spent more money going out to, have drinks and network and try to meet some people. So this month on entertainment, again, I spent 1,000 renminbi, which is about $140. Usually this cost me about $75 a month. So I actually spent almost double, not quite, but almost double what I typically spend on entertainment. Now, other than that, my next expense is going to be coffee. So I put this in a separate category just because it's kind of its own thing for me, because I really enjoy coffee and I drink coffee every day. And typically what I do, I just go out to the coffee shop, have one or two coffees early in the morning. Just usually nice and quiet and peaceful and, not too much going on. So I just like to have a coffee and just kind of watch people, walking around and going to work and just kind of relax early in the morning. And I do that almost every single day. And I buy expensive coffee. I don't buy cheap coffee. But, obviously you could drink coffee at home and save a lot of money. But I don't want to stay at home. I just want to be out of the house and actually see people moving around and talk to people and things like that. Because even like at the coffee shop that I go to, they're like the people who work there, they're all really friendly. They all know my name. Even when they see me, like before I even walk in the door, they just start making my coffee for me because they already know what I want. And then when I walk in, they just treat me so friendly. And sometimes they even, if they're not busy, they will just sit down and chat to me. And so I just get to have a chat over some coffee with some nice people. So do that every day. But this month, I spent 900 renminbi on coffee, which is about $125. So I guess it's a lot of money for coffee, but for me, I don't mind. For me, it's kind of an entertainment, even though I didn't put it in entertainment category because it's just a totally separate thing than like going out and having like a cocktail or something like that with somebody. So yeah, it's just kind of a morning ritual that I like to do. But if you're not like that, you would obviously be able to save that extra 125 a month if you want a person who wants to stay at home and drink coffee at home. Man, check out this scenery, y'all. Nice, you can see the view of the city there in the background. Nice, peaceful little lake. Actually, around this whole lake, it's about 1 mile, this running track. It's about a mile long if you run around the whole thing or walk around the whole thing. But anyway, let's keep going. I only have a couple more expenses here to share with you. So my next expense were my utilities. So my utilities include my gas, my water, and electric bill. Okay, gas bill, water bill, electric bill, all of those three combined. So right now, well, in July and August, it is, the middle of summer, and it's very, very hot here, about 100 degrees every single day. So I had the air conditioner on quite a bit, and I was home quite a bit because I wasn't working. I was just at home, relaxing, whatever, a lot. So maybe this is a little bit more than what it would have been if I was at work or if I wasn't at home so much. But I spent 600 renminbi, which is about $85. So for gas, water, and electric, I spent 85 bucks. Now it's starting to get cooler in the evenings and in the morning. And actually, I'm going to work now because I'm actually really, really bored. And also, the only way to stay in China is to work, unless, of course, you're married. And I'm not married, so I have no choice but to work if I want to legally stay here. That's why I'm thinking of moving next year somewhere else so I don't have to work anymore and I can just chill. So I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, 85 bucks, gas, water, and electric. Now I only have two more expenses to share with you here. And the next one is going to be my transportation cost. Now, my transportation cost might be a little bit different from some people's. I'm not sure, but I do have a car, and typically my transportation costs me a lot more than what most people spend. But this month it was quite different because I just arrived in this new city and actually found that driving here is not really that convenient because this is a really old city. So as far as the infrastructure goes for driving, the roads are small, the roads are crowded, and people are just really slow paced. So I only drove my car like twice. And I actually have an electric bike, electric scooter, electric motorcycle, whatever you want to call it. And it's very, very cheap to drive that and super, super convenient because driving that means there's not much traffic, there's no traffic jam on that. And also, you don't need to pay parking fees because in a car, you have to pay a parking fee. Like you go to the supermarket, you have to pay to park there. You go to a restaurant, you need to pay to park there. But with the e-bike, you don't have that problem. So I drive an e-bike everywhere I go, and it costs me like about maybe $1 per week, maybe a little bit less than $1 per week to charge the battery on the e-bike. And it goes like 90 kilometers, so it goes quite a far distance too. So I just charge the battery once a week, and it costs about $1. But I do need to pay for parking my car at my house, so that's where the biggest part of this transportation expense comes from. So I spent 200 renminbi on transportation, which is about $28. So if you don't own a car and you use an e-bike or maybe the subway, we have an underground subway system here, you can expect to spend something similar, probably about $28 to $30. So that's going to be the transportation expense. Now, for my very last expense, it's going to be my phone and my internet bill. So those two combined, actually, I will say it's three combined because I have two phones. So I have two phone bills and one internet bill. And you may be wondering, why do I have two phone bills? Because I have a phone for my personal use, but I also have a phone for business because I have like a business that I do on the side, and I use a separate phone for that. So I have two phone bills and one house internet bill, like for my house Wi-Fi, things like that. And so in total, for that bill, it cost me 120 renminbi, which is roughly about 17 US dollars. So $17 a month for two phones and home Wi-Fi. And that is not the slowest one, but it's also not the fastest. It's kind of one in the middle. If you want a cheaper one, there's one for like 58 renminbi. And if you want a more expensive one, I think there's one for about 199 RMB. So it's probably like, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 bucks or something like that. Just a guesstimate. But right now, I'm paying $17. So all in all, in total, everything, every single penny I spent for the entire month comes to a grand total of 7,520 renminbi. That is about 1,060 US dollars. So I only spent 1,060 US dollars to live a nice, comfortable, normal, middle class life. Do anything I want to do whenever I want to do it. Eat what I want to eat. No budget, just spending money as I spend it. And then at the end of the month, I look and see what I spent. So $1,000 is very cheap. It doesn't cost much money at all to live here. So, as you can see, this whole thing about living here on this such cheap budget, here is one part of the reason why I was able to put myself in a position to retire early. So let me explain this to you. So, as you just saw, I spent $1,000 for the entire month. Now, for the past 15 years, I've been living here in China, and the cost of living hasn't changed very much. When I first moved here 15 years ago, I was still spending about anywhere from 700 to 1,200 a month for the past 15 years. That's like a normal middle class life. I'm not survival mode. It's just a normal budget, like for anything, like just go out and eat what you want to eat, drink what you want to drink, do what you want to do, not trying to save money, nothing like that. And that's all the money I spent every month. But keep in mind also, I don't really care about fancy stuff that much. I mean, I have like a nice car and I have, an iPhone and MacBook or whatever, but I don't buy these things all the time. Like when I buy a phone, right, it usually lasts me for like 4 years. My last MacBook I had for like 10 years and I just bought a new one recently. But, those kind of things, they last me a long time because I don't use them and abuse them. I take care of them. So those kind of big expenses don't come up very often in my life. And I don't really spend a lot of money on other things like, shopping and stuff like that. I buy stuff that I like from time to time, but I don't go overboard. I don't spend thousands and thousands and thousands a month on those type of things because I just don't really care. I'm just not really that interested in it. And so, the cost of living for me has been very cheap for the past 15 years. Now, this is one of the reasons why I was able to put myself in a good position because over the past 15 years, I have made at least $4,000 per month minimum, and at maximum, there were times where I was making almost $20,000 a month, and that was just due to, like, I was, doing business, and business was going really well. At one time, I had 3 businesses going at the same time, plus working, and plus I had a long-term relationship with my girlfriend, and she was also making like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So, I have my 5,000 salary, her 5,000 salary. That's already 10,000, and then our business was doing $5,000 to $10,000, $12,000 a month. So we had so much disposable income, but we weren't spending it. All that money was going towards saving, and not just saving, but I don't really think you can save your way to financial freedom, but having all that disposable income allowed me to have money to invest. And by being able to invest that money towards not just a retirement account, but also towards a regular like stock market brokerage account, investing in growth stocks and dividends and things like that, that put me in a position to be able to retire and basically do what I want to do. As long as I stay in Asia. I don't want you to get it wrong and think like I'm rich, because I'm not rich at all. That's not the case. It's just one of the things is living in Asia, the cost of living is so cheap, and I am 100% debt free. I don't own credit card bill. I don't own a car payment. I don't owe student loans. I have zero debt whatsoever. I don't owe anybody anything. And that is one of the reasons why I was able to have so much disposable income to save, to invest, and to, buy nice things that I want to buy and do all this stuff and still have plenty of money. And it wasn't just from working though. It would also come from, doing business here and working at the same time. So for the past 15 years, I spent a lot of time working hard and also making smart financial decisions by, not going into debt and things like that. So if you are somebody who is actually interested in, trying to retire early, or not even just retire early, just retire in general, because nowadays it is such a hard thing to do, because there's just jobs aren't out there where people get a job and work there for 40 years and then collect a pension. Like, that's almost non-existent nowadays. And even, those kind of jobs in America, you can't even survive on that. You still need, your partner has to have one of those jobs too. You'll both have to be working hard for 40 years. And on top of that, you have to make sure you stay out of debt and all these other things if you really want to be able to retire. And so luckily, I didn't go down that path. And everybody tells me, or not now, but back then, my father told me, oh, you need to go do this job, like do what I did, or, come back to America and do this job and you can make good money. But you spend so much money living in those places where, even I made the same salary here that I would have made in America. It doesn't cost me any money to live here. It's super, super cheap. And the quality of life for how much money I spend is amazing. So with all those things, factor in to where I'm at today, and to, they're all the things that made it possible for me to have the life that I have now and to be able to do what I want to do at such a young age, which I know 42 isn't young. There are people, who have a lot more money than me, who are a lot younger than me. But for me, I feel quite proud of that accomplishment, because I also know there are a lot of people who are in their 50s, in their 60s, even in their 70s, who are struggling to get by. Or, they might be, trying to live off like a $2,000 a month pension or something, but they still have debt. They have house payments and car payments and all these things, and they're just barely scraping by. And living abroad helped me avoid that debt trap, because here, it's just not really a thing. People don't really tend to, especially foreigners, expats. One reason is it's hard to even go in debt as an expat, because it's hard to, to get a loan for a house or something like that. Unless, of course, you're married, then your wife or husband, whoever, could do that for you. But, that's just not really something I see expats doing very often. So those things, avoiding those things, has made it possible for me. And I think if anybody is really, really interested in retiring early at this day and age, especially if you're in a Western country like America or Canada or something like that, some of those jobs that, our parents told us about, they just don't exist anymore. And like, your parents aren't trying to tell you to do those things because they want to see you fail. That's the things that worked for them doesn't work for us today. And so you have to do things differently and think outside the box, and you have to be willing to sacrifice a little bit. And so for me, my sacrifice was, leaving my friends and family behind and living abroad all these years. But it has afforded me the opportunity where now I can go anywhere I want to go. And I'm actually seriously thinking about next summer going to Thailand and getting a place there somewhere near the beach and just chilling for a while and not doing much. Or maybe just traveling around all over. Just go from place to place until my visa runs out. When my visa runs out, hop over to another place, just so I can experience living in other countries, not just visiting. Because right now, I've only really lived in America, Philippines, and China, even though I have visited probably 20 different countries, but I've never lived in those countries. So I think it would be an interesting experience to be able to go around to all these places and just live there. And it seems like that dream now is possible. It's possible to do that at only 42 years old. And this is how I was able to do it. So part of me is going to be forever grateful to China for allowing me to do that, because, over the past 15 years, the growth in China has been amazing as far as, the business opportunities and things like that go. I was living in big cities where I got to network and meet people, and I just had so many opportunities here that I never had anywhere else. And so those are the things that really made a difference in my life. And I think if you're willing to get out of your comfort zone and try something like that, especially if you go to a major city where there are opportunities, like business opportunities. For example, if like Bangkok or Manila or maybe Jakarta, Indonesia, Kuala Lumpur. If you're in China, you can think of cities like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, these big major cities. There's still opportunities available for people to not just work, but also be an entrepreneur and make money so you can fast track your retirement and enjoy your life while you're still young. And that's what I'm looking to do here very, very, very soon. It's possible now, so I think I'm going to give it a try here very soon. So anyway, I'm almost done with this walking tour. I'm heading back to my car right now, and stay tuned till the end, and you will actually see me here in a minute. Get it in the car. I'll talk to you for a second. You can see my face, but I just want to say, appreciate y'all watching, and also, I hope you can find a way to break free from the rat race and at least be able to retire at a decent age. Don't work your whole life and retire when you're about to die or something like that. It's just not cool. And well, I guess that concludes our video. It's getting hot now. It's like midday. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff you already know, and I'll see y'all on the next video.